Hi, welcome back to the channel. So I just thought I'd do a little video on my V-Strom 1000. It's just hit 35,000 miles. So I just thought I'd do a little talk on it. It's not a review by any means, it's just my thoughts of the bike, why I bought it, how it's performed, and any problems that I've encountered with it. So I bought the bike 4 years ago, and then it had 17,000 miles on the clock, and I've done 18,000 in the 4 years I've had it, and I must say I've got absolutely no complaints into the performance of the bike. There is a couple of niggly little things that have occurred since I've had it, but again nothing major. So I bought the bike initially for the pillion comfort. Mrs. Hoff on my previous bike, a Suzuki Bandit 1200, suffered with extreme pain in her knees, and I think that was due to the rear foot pegs being so high up. So we looked at something different. She always fancied the V-Strom. I was a little bit unsure at the time, but we settled on one, and I've got to say it's one of the best choices I've made. Now I know the V-Strom 1000 is a more road orientated bike. I would say it's probably 80% road, 20% off-road. I have taken it off-road. I've done a bit of the Yorkshire Tet, the Trans-European Trail, and encountered no problems with that at all. It did what I wanted it to do, although the bits that I did weren't too gnarly. They were more like just gravel and sand, but the bike performed admirably. I did put an aluminium skid plate on it to protect the underneath of the bike and the exposed front oil filter, so that was a good investment, I think, on my part. So how's it performed since I've had it? Again, like I said, for me, absolutely flawlessly. It handles like a dream, it corners like a dream. I can't really praise it anymore. One of the major problems I did have with it after about a year of ownership was the dreaded clutch judder, which these bikes are renowned for. And it's about time that Suzuki got that sorted out, because I believe it also happens on the later models. So I swapped out the clutch basket and I got a modified clutch basket, got that installed, and that cured the clutch judder problem, and since then absolutely flawless again. And then after about two and a half years owning the bike, I became aware of that every time I rode it I was getting a smell of petrol. On investigation, it found that the fuel injector rail pipe had developed a leak. So again, I got that one replaced, which was the most expensive I've had to fork out for the bike. And again, since then, no problems at all. That cured the leak, and again, the bike's performed admirably. So currently, I'm running Metzeler Tourance tyres, front and rear. Again, I like these tyres. The last set I had, I got about 12,000 miles on each tyre before I replaced them, and I replaced them with the Metzeler Karoo 3s, which primarily I wanted to use for doing bits of the Tet and the off-road usage of the bike. And again, these performed absolutely spot on. The only problem with the Metzeler Karoo 3s, well, not a problem, but you get a lot of humming from the front until you've done about 500, 600 miles, and then that humming seems to dissipate. So the bike itself, like I said, it's a 2008 first generation V-Strom. It initially had the plastic panniers, which I swapped out for aluminium ones for the touring purposes. And I must say, for comfort, the bike is outstanding. You can go out and, for a whole day and still feel quite refreshed when you get off the bike. That's in my opinion. I've never encountered any problems comfort wise. The only other thing was the wind resistance. When I had the original screen and the big barn door mirrors, I was getting a lot of buffering on my helmet, hammering on the top of the helmet. So I swapped those out for an MRA touring screen and some Aprilia Tuono mirrors, and that's cured the buffering as well. So all in all, it is a lovely bike to ride. Now I know it doesn't have all the aids of the modern bikes, and that's what I like about it. I mean, I've been riding since 1982, and there was no aids back in them days, and so I was brought up having to ride the bike without any sort of aid whatsoever. And this V-Strom does it for me. There's no ABS, there's no traction control, there's no hill start assist, although I wouldn't mind hill start assist if I'm all totally honest. The bike is heavy. When you're riding it you don't feel the weight, but it's when you stop and you're having to manhandle the bike, you certainly do feel the weight. I mean, even pushing it off its sensor stand, it's quite a job in itself. But all in all, I absolutely love this bike. I've got no intentions of getting rid of it at the moment. I think it's still got a lot of life left in it. I do the normal servicing things, chains, sprockets, tyres, brakes, oil filter, air filters and so on. But that's the same with any bike. You've got to keep on the top of it for servicing wise for it to last. I can't see the bike having many more problems. I hope not. So yeah, that's my V-Strom. In a nutshell, would I recommend one if anyone was in the market for another bike? Absolutely. I wouldn't dismiss these first generation V-Stroms. They really are something else. Like I said, they're not the nicest looking bikes, I suppose, but again, that's each individual's choice, I suppose. I quite like the look of it, and the things I've done to it, the crash bars that I've put on, the spotlights, etc, I think makes it look quite a nice bike. I do get a lot of compliments on it. So yeah, that's the V-Strom. So thanks for watching the video, hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, please leave any comments down below, and I will try and answer as many of them as I can. I do try and answer all of them. And if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It does help me grow the channel, and YouTube have changed all their algorithms, so likes and comments and views do make a lot of difference. And it don't cost anything to subscribe, but it will help me grow the channel. So again, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.